Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Gabby and we're at the Paramount Theater for Austin Film Festival for the Texas Cold House. Let's see what they have to say.
So I'm the director, writer of the film. I brought together, like my producing partner and I brought together the team and actors, like we're friends with Ryan Cooper and Adrianne Palicki, and even some of the other teen actors are like former students of mine because I also teach on camera acting. So it was really we definitely cast people that we didn't know as well, but it really felt like working together as a family unit, you know?
And that makes things more fun.
Totally. Yes.
I understand that. Working with friends and people that you know.
Yes. Yes.
So then can I ask, like, what was your personal motivation with, like, writing this story and, like, directing this project?
Well, so I'm an independent filmmaker, so I have to look at the resources that I have. I don't have studio budget money. And I have a 6-acre property, and so I said let's write a story that we can tell on my property. So everything is shot on my property, and my house, and like my barn, and all of that. And so that kind of like set the location. And then I decided that I really wanted to tell a story about a teen who maybe had suffered some sort of trauma in their faith as a child. In this instance, it's Austin. But is still able to kind of somehow hold on to his faith despite the trauma. And I grew up in an environment that fostered fear over faith. And when one man or one person takes a hold of that power and twists it, it twists the faith into something that is unrecognizable, right? And so I kind of really wanted to tell a story about that, and then a person finding a way through it.
I think that's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
My role is a little bit of a surprise in the story, so I can't tell you a whole lot. But I come in at the end of the film, and I have a really powerful moment with Annie Palicki, my co-star, in the film. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see it. So if I may ask then, because I understand that your characters have really complex stories that unfold throughout this film, can I ask like what you would want the audience to take away from these stories?
I think at the end of the day, this is the type of story that hopefully an audience can come in and just have a good time. So that would be the takeaway. That would be the hope. And get a little freaked out.
A little bit, right?
Just a little bit.
That's the hope for it.
Yeah.
So speaking of, this is like this Texas film, Texas Cold House. Can I ask, in your opinion, how does Texas influence this film? Like, what?
Oh, I think it's another character in the film for sure.
That's a really beautiful way to explain it.
Yeah. I think it's uniquely Texas, which is beautiful, and one of the reasons why it's so great that it's premiering here.
I also agree with that. Congratulations on the film.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Did it there.
Oh my God! Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Love
yeah.
you too.
I do too. Okay, so can you explain a little bit about your role in this film, please?
So my character is ultimately the mother character who, tells her kids they have to be home by a certain time and, be safe and all the things. And they fall into kind of a weird trap, and she becomes ultimately the savior, like the one who comes and finds them, because they're her children. And I'm like, I don't have kids, but I do understand like loving family like that, where I'm like, I will pillage, I will do whatever I have to do to save these people. And of course Lydia, who plays my daughter, is also like my niece, because Julia is one of my best friends, and that's her daughter. So it was not even acting at that point.
So it was a personal connection.
It was a personal connection, yeah.
So then, kind of talking about like your character a bit, what lessons would you want to be taken away from your character's journey throughout the film?
Well, the lesson is love, and also a mother weirdly knows best, and I hate to say that because my mother has always been right, and I hate that. But she had intuition, and also like this is a real thing that's happening right now. Like there's cults everywhere, and it's becoming kind of a weird epidemic, and I think that it brings kind of light and recognition to something. Obviously in a kind of fun way, but there's reality to it too.
Yeah, that's really true, honestly.
Okay, so
and then one last question for the students. Would you have any advice for students that you see, maybe upcoming actresses or actors, or any general advice that's worked for you?
It's like What would Tyra do? All I will say is this. If you really want to do this, if you want to be an actor, it's hard. You are a very small community that gets to be part of it. But don't stop believing in yourself. It takes a lot of right place, right time. And you just have to commit. I'll say what my first acting teacher ever said to me in LA. He said, if you want to do anything else, go do that. Because this will be the hardest thing you ever do. So if you want to do it, then do it. And commit to it and just be driven.
Thank you so much for that. Can I get you to throw like a hook 'em horns, if you don't mind? So,
Yes.
Just like hook 'em horns.
God.
Okay, I'm gonna do my Texas.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
So my role in the film was playing the cult leader Deacon Jones, and it was very fun to dabble in what are some maybe hardline belief systems and explore what that looks like when faith becomes almost a barrier to reality.
And so, kind of going a little bit off of that, can I ask like what your personal motivation was for like playing this character and being involved with this project?
I grew up in the church. And so I feel like I've seen versions of this. Obviously, this is an embellishment and a very kind of egregious sort of beginnings, and then embellished. But the kernel of the story is very real, and it happened. And so I think it's important for all of us to have the opportunity to explore our faith, our belief, where it can maybe come up against a hard line that may not actually support the love that we're trying to actually offer people within the sanctuary of church and that space. Yeah.
I am the producer. So Julie and I have a company together called Rolling Reels Production. We started with a holiday Christmas movie that's coming out in November, and then we decided to go totally opposite of the spectrum and do a horror film. So here we are, Texas Cult House.
Naturally come after each other, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the genre is very important. And then Ryan was in our holiday film, and then he came on as producer for Texas Cult House.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So
And Drew is in it. He's my son. I don't know if you could tell, but Drew Benson, he has a little role in it as well. So he's walking the carpet with me.
And how was your experience in like this?
It was cool because like I never been in like an actual like red carpet movie, you can call it that. And then so like it's just surreal and it's super cool. So
That's cool. I hope to get to do more of them.
yeah, I hope too.
So I did a little bit of research about your company, and I know that you guys are based in Austin, Texas. So can I kind of ask, with this being the Texas Cult House, can I ask like how Texas influenced this film specifically? Like what roots in Texas were also roots in the film?
Yeah, so being from Texas, living here, we got kids here. I mean, a lot of it is Texas is a global name. You can pretty much go anywhere in the world and say Texas, and people know where it is on a map. Which I'm originally from Nebraska. Nobody knows where Nebraska is. So we're like, we want to take the idea of Texas, because it is such like a word that can be, globalized in a way, and especially Austin. Everybody knows Austin as well. And so for us, using Texas in the name was very important because, again, we want people to know like Texas just has such a global standing.
Yeah.
And then everybody loves cults. So we were like, let's get into a cult story. And fortunately, Julia and her cousin Zach came up with a story together. It's loosely based on Zach's upbringing. And so it was, pulled in from his experience as part of the LGBTQ community and growing up in an extremely like fundamental religious, not a cult, I don't want to say it was a cult, but in a religion that was extremely fundamentalist. And just like his grapplings with that, keeping faith while, being part of the LGBTQ community. So that's a lot of the theme of the movie. And we do feel that in Texas, like those stories need to be told. Like there's a huge, we're big supporters of the LGBTQ community. We want to make sure more stories are told, particularly here in Texas, as a lot of those rights are getting, taken away from people. So it's a big part of it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You gonna say anything else?
Well, I'm excited.
Go Texas.
Go Longhorns. All right.
Do you want to give a hook 'em horns to the camera?
Yeah. Hey, come on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in any more Austin Film Festival coverage, check out any of these videos or look us up at Sneak Peek TV. Thanks.